up and running. In actual fact, most of you will know that the builders over the road, which you can hear now, and I apologise for that, there's a major development going on over there, which thankfully isn't going to affect us too much in the end. Within 24 hours, just over, everything was up and running again, which is great. But unfortunately, because of my work commitments, I haven't been able to get into the shop much, apart from doing my cosmetic makeover, which I'll show you after this. I mentioned in my last video that I had some more stickers, so I'll run through those with you. I had one from my friend Paul Critchley, TWK, and what I'll do is put the relevant links to these guys, to their Facebook pages or web pages or YouTube channels, or all of them, depending which media they are available on. So that's TWK, these will go up on the wall shortly. One from my good friend Kostas, Anikas I can't pronounce this, Defterios, who's from Greece, and it's Anika's Greek Handicrafts. Kostas has got a great channel. He's just started doing all his videos in English as well, which is great. I mean, I've been following him for quite a while now, and he's a very talented turner, so go across and subscribe and follow Kostas. So thanks for that, Kostas. I got 3 actually, so I'll be sticking them all over the place. And a lovely letter as well. Thank you very much for that. And then one by my friend Greg Dykes. Sticker there, look, from Greg. And again, Greg hasn't got a channel, a YouTube channel, but he has got a Facebook page and a web page. I'll put the relevant links down below. Thanks for that, Greg. And also one from Foster's Woodcrafts, which is a business card basically, and I'll put his Facebook page in the links down below. So thanks for that, Oliver. And finally, don't know why it's taken so long, I got one from, you all know, Martin Saban-Smith, Hampshire Sheen fame. I got one of Martin's stickers as well, finally. Thanks for that, Martin. So what I intend to do now is to run through what I've done, and I'll give you a very brief background to it. The garage, or workshop, call it what you will, as you know, is an old garage. I think it's been up about 50 odd years. So the brickwork, but nothing is square anymore. One side of it is sunk slightly. So all the walls, the mortar in the brickwork sort of protrudes in parts and so on, because after all said and done, it's basically a garage. What I should have done, but didn't, is basically re-skim the walls and everything else. But to be quite honest with you, apart from the time factor, funds aren't available, and I wanted to do something as quick as possible. So what I basically did was gave it a makeover using plywood, and I'll go through my method of doing that. A lot of you will say, well, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? This is the route I went. I wanted it to look a bit better, I wanted it easier to put things on. And because of the unevenness of the walls, I utilised a lot of the kitchen units, which is what I've cobbled together over the last 10 years before I was in wood turning. As sort of kitchen units became available, I sort of made another bench and I made another load of shelves and so on. So basically it was all cobbled together. And what I've done is use those kitchen units as backers, if you like. So I've screwed those to the brickwork, which then made the job of actually putting up the plywood much easier. So it just gives a nicer feel to the area that I'm working in. So I'll go around that with you and show you what I've still yet got to do if I get round to it. But the main part has been done, and I'm pretty pleased with the result. It certainly makes for a much lighter area for me to work in, and the shelves are more purpose-built than the others. So this area here is still got to be done. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to work that. Just put some more shelving up, I suppose. You can see the remaining plywood sheets that I've got, and the table saw lives here with the extractor and then the bandsaw. And the main area of the first bit that I did was this area here. Now I haven't clad the brickwork because it's use mainly for wood storage, and that's where I sit in the corner there. I've got the radio and a few little shelves to put my phone, etc. on. Now the thing is, in this corner, there was a hodgepodge of surfaces for the tops there, and also these, if I can zoom in here, these storage bins were on the wall, where now I've got this metal organiser, and all my screws and fixings are sized and in the relevant drawers instead of being willy-nilly put into the storage bins. I still use the storage bins, but they're for bigger items which are easily identifiable and easily accessed. And I took down the old bits of shelf that have been cobbled together over time, and just put straight shelves in there to make it nice and clean and serviceable. So my stock, if you like, of wood is here, ready to work on. Some of it's not quite processed yet, and the main stock of wood that I've got is on the other side of that wall. We've got a lockable lean-to, and the bulk of my other stock is in there. But this is stuff I can work on relatively immediately if ever I get time to get on the lathe again. The area here is the same as it's been for a while. That there is the type of kitchen unit that I was using. Somebody had a new kitchen fitted, so I had all the bits, and I used those for a number of years in various forms, for shelving as well as other things. Put plywood on the back of the wall there some time ago, where I've got my measuring stuff and all the rest of it, and my tools, and indeed the truck jaws. So that's been like this for some time. Jaws end there, the row of truck jaws. From there round was all brickwork and a variety of different hodgepodge of shelving and, as I keep saying, kitchen units. So the piece I put in there, which came to the corner, and then I literally clad the whole wall across here to where you see the drill. Now the bench drill used to live where the drills are, so you can imagine that also hindered the run of the bench, if you like. So what I decided to do was to put what I call custom shelves for the items that I've got, allowing for a bit of flexibility as time goes on. Now the drills used to be in the corner there, very inaccessible, but that's where the power points were, etc. So I've run a couple of extension sockets from the main sockets there. I've removed the sockets from the brickwork and then repositioned them onto the plywood walls. Now the beauty of the way that I've done it for me is that, number one, it was fairly quick. The whole thing took me a couple of days. But also I've got, if I want to add something, all I have to do is to screw it into the plywood, and I've also got another ½ an inch or so on the other side of screwable surface, if you like. So I've got something like 1 1/4, 1 1/2 inches of depth to screw into, which is brilliant. No masonry drills, etc., and I can add, take away as I so wish. So that's basically it. There you can see I finally invested in some the big bottles of intrinsic colours from Hampshire Sheen, Martin Saban Smith, and I just put up 2 little shelves there, and they hold those. So I've got all my finishing stuff here, and all the other sundry bits and bobs as and when. I still use the bins here, but they're all loose, so I can move them as I want to, and I like a little bit of mess, if you like, and I've got that little bit there, but it's still a lot more serviceable for me and a lot better. And the biggest thing that I noticed is putting the drill at the end. That gives me a lot more space and opens it up. It's not everybody's idea of how to do it. Oh, another thing as well, at the bottom here I had those, I had a couple of sheets, and I had some leftover denim, from another project I was doing a while ago. So I cut those. At the bottom you can see there's battens inside there. I've merely stapled them in there and they hang down, and I just lift it up when I want to get to what's behind, which again is basically junk and untidy stuff, but it looks better and it keeps all the chips and the shavings away from the shelves there. And that is basically it. It just looks a lot better. It's a much nicer environment to work in, and I've utilised the space I've got, I think, to a fairly good effect. So I hope you found that of some interest. I mean, nothing of any earth-shattering importance really, but it just gives you an idea. And one thing I will say is that if you've got an area that is like mine, you know, it's sort of old brickwork, etc., putting backing on the walls in the form of old kitchen units, whatever, saves a lot of time and gives you some really good depth to screw fixtures and fittings onto the wall. I mean, ideally, as I say, it would have all been stripped down and replastered and faced with whatever, but I'm happy with it. It suits me, and hopefully now I'll be able to get back to turning. Well, thanks very much for sticking with me during this little problem I had with the internet and work, etc. And as I say, the next video will be a turning video. Don't forget, Harrogate in November and Maker Central in May of next year. I'll put links down below. Some fantastic YouTubers coming over from the States and obviously from this country and indeed Europe. It promises to be a really, really good event. And in Harrogate, as I've said before, I'm pleased to announce that I'm on the Simon Hope stand at Harrogate for the full 3 days. And I'll put all the links to the relevant sites down below. And thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers now.